Hello, Woglet. How are you going? I mean, Doglet. Sorry, the new name, the new king.
Yeah, new name. I mean, I might be changing it again. Who knows? To be honest, some of the players have been encouraging me to change it to Poglet. Weirdly enough,
Poglet.
yeah,
No.
I know. Not a good way to start up the Oceanic Esports Stone 2 League, but that's how it is. So we'll have to see how the chat goes. Obviously, anyone joining in early for us, we are bringing in two captains. We'll be bringing in Fantasy and LY. They're captains of Benny Bryan and Sad Boys AU, respectively. I think I might jump in with Fantasy first. How's it going, man? Are you there?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming, by the way.
My pleasure.
It's always good to get the players to come in. And also, we've got LY sitting there, I'm hoping.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for joining up with us, guys. We're just going to run through some questions, see how everyone is feeling about the league, basically. And just generally, if there's any questions throughout the chat, they can just jump in whenever, and I'm sure to ask these players.
All right, sure.
We'll start
LY, don't sound too nervous, man. The grilling won't be that serious. We're going to be taking it easy on you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about grilling. I will ask LY the first question. You did peg your team to run through this league and go undefeated.
Undefeated.
So far, you've had some issues. How do you think you're going to improve in the coming weeks, and how do you think you're going to start getting those wins?
Dude, I mean, there's some changes that have got to happen, I think. I don't know. I'm just trying to get better week by week, and hopefully by the time of the playoff, we'll just be ready to turn it up, get heated and just get some dubs.
Yeah. No worries. So you think you're going to still snake in the playoffs, just casually get through?
I mean, we're playing for probably 6th place right now, but I think if we make it in, it's a whole different kind of situation once you're actually in the elimination games. I feel like, the grit comes through.
Don't aim too high, You don't want to be like Icarus, man. You don't want to go for that 5th position and bomb out,
Yeah, just playing for 6th, keeping it humble.
I get that.
Yeah.
Was maybe the MMR drop coinciding a little with the team performance?
No, I wouldn't say so. I think it's just a synergy thing, between the players.
Is it? Yeah. Okay. So could we also know any of the changes that you're talking about in regards to the team, or is there anything you can let us in on here?
I mean, at the start, I benched Type Man for Buzzkin. Just to try to, I mean, the scrims weren't going well, I'll be honest, We lost about 6 games to Fury's team, so I brought in MGC, and now Buzzkin's actually getting subbed out.
Really?
Buzzkin, that's a big call.
I mean, he's been having some good performances, but I don't know, something's got to change in the team, and yeah, I think hopefully having Hype Man on the POS 1 stable carry, one of the best in Oz, it might help us, I guess. I hope.
Yeah, I mean, that's good to hear. Good to hear that you're changing things up. You're trying something new. Like you said, you're going for playoffs, so as long as you're ready for playoffs, you should be good to go. On the other hand, though, we do have Fantasy. Fantasy, coming into the league, you did draft a different player. You had to trade away Boons. You did get YGod. Do you think that trade has helped your team chemistry and allow you just to run through these first 2 weeks? You're 7-1 at the moment, and you look to be one of the strongest teams.
I think it's made us a lot stronger. I wasn't expecting YGod on my team anymore after what happened. So I was just hoping we just play the games as they come along. But then one day Musica just approached me and is like, "Do you want to take YGod for Boons?" And of course I say yes. And then it worked out. It's working out pretty well so far. But we haven't versed any of the top teams in the league so far. So we see how that goes when it happens.
Has YGod been bringing that energy to the team comms? I feel like he'd really get you guys rallying in the middle of the fights.
In terms of energy, if you mean everybody shit and he's the best, yep.
Beautiful. That's exactly the energy I'm talking about. The confidence, man.
Yeah, he needs that big dick energy to get through that mid lane. There's a lot of egos in that lane.
Yeah, we're all really confident because of him, but one day we might be just overconfident. It might be our downfall, but we'll see.
Look, in regards to YGod, I have on my fridge, Doglet and Fantasy, I've got a screenshot of me beating him once in mid lane. It's just on the fridge just because, it's a real treat to be able to say in the Oz Dota community, I beat my YGod in mid, It's a forever thing.
We'll let him know about that one.
Yeah. I mean, make sure he comes into the chat. Make sure he roasts Gorg's camera work. He will be doing the camera work today.
I am doing obs, guys, so this is not going to be pretty. I'm preempting everyone with that.
Yeah.
I'll try and convince him to do an interview with you guys too. I reckon that'd be pretty fun for the viewers.
Yeah, I think that'd be quite, especially after a big win, or even
Yep.
better, a massive loss.
Massive
if they
loss?
end up coming
Definitely.
through.
Oh
Definitely.
no, not flashbacks of like those TI loser interviews where everyone's just sort of like crying and there's emotions.
That's so sad, dude.
I mean,
oh my god.
I don't think we could do it for a playoff game, but like these warm-up games, as Elway's been calling them,
Warm up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all for the playoffs, right? Isn't that
You're
right?
warming
Elway?
up. You're warming up for that disappointment, right? That may be coming down the line. You know? I get that.
Oh,
I mean, IMO, it's better to come in sixth than first, you know, because like no one has their eyes.
Yep,
And
that's
yeah,
it.
that is like you're gonna be super hungry, and everyone's gonna be focused on the corrosives, the furies, etc. of the league, and we'll just sneak in. Hopefully, just manage to slide our way through. You know. So,
LY, on the note of Kuro, and I know I'm interrupting Doglet, I know, but this question was, I wanted to ask you guys both, who is the most tryhard captain currently in the league that you're like,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
come on, dude. 'Cause
I mean,
my
yeah,
money's on
definitely.
Kuro. My money's on Kuro, 100%.
Yeah, I think so. I think corrosive for sure. He just, I don't know. He's a geek, man. He sits there day after day researching strategies, watching every pro game, and I don't know. It's working out for
The
him.
hunger,
so.
man, the hunger. All right, Fantasy, who
Yeah.
would you give that to? Come on, man. Give me a player.
I mean, the answer's pretty obvious, right? Corrosive. He's
Oh,
putting a lot of hard work and it's paying off. And I'm actually quite worried about vesting him on Monday.
Oofed.
Oh, a bit of respect. I actually like to see that. A bit of respect between the captains. I think LY said it first. He's geeking out. So,
I mean, he's prepared. I'm not, so obviously I'm going to be a bit worried. But we see how it goes.
yeah.
Maybe
I mean, is that next week, your game? I should know. I should
I
have
think
the
it's
schedule.
Monday. This coming Monday.
It is too. Monday, 8 p.m. That'll be a top game, really.
Yeah.
We obviously will see them today as well. I was going to ask you this later on, but what do you think of that game that's going to be happening today? Obviously, it's Flashpoint Gaming against Lon's team, the Sweaty Soldiers. Who do you think's got the edge there?
You first, LY?
I mean, I it's hard to say anything but an easy 2-0 for Corrosive's team. I think Flashpoint Gaming, because I don't know, they've literally just stomped every team in like 15 minutes. So I don't know if anything's going to change there. Like, I wouldn't say Sweaty Soldiers is a top 3 team either. Really, I don't think.
I want
so.
that out there. They're not a top 3 team, guys. I want everyone in chat confirming that and following up on that, okay? Not a top 3
Whereas-
team.
Yeah,
Corrosive seems far and away the best so far. So I don't know. It's hard to see anything but a 2-0, but you know.
yeah. I think currently Sweaty Soldiers are coming in tied 4th. So
Okay.
they are going pretty well.
I mean,
They
they're a
haven't
strong
played.
team, but
Yeah.
yeah. I just feel like, I mean, we'll see.
And what do you think, Fantasy?
I reckon the more you win, the cockier you are, the bigger ego you get, and the more chance you're going to lose. So I think it's going to be a 1-1.
Oh, 1-1.
They're undefeated so far, but even the best fall sometimes. But I do have my money on 1-1. Yeah.
Complacency from Kuro's team, you know?
I think if they lose a game, it's going to be to you guys. To be honest, I feel like you guys got like the best synergy in the league.
Oh.
Ooh,
And I
a
just
bit
feel
of
like-
Surprised.
patting on the
Be
back right here.
surprised.
Man.
Yeah.
No, no.
Surprised.
I mean, maybe
Wait,
I
in
should-
game? Is it not there? The synergy?
It's a bit of a yelling back and forth. It's a bit of me cheering up the team when they're upset, especially when behind. I'm the one that's like, I'm like the cheerleader, you know?
Yeah,
Might not be the best player, but I'm the best cheerleader. So I keep the spirits up. I shout my head off when we win a team fight and just get the spirits going. But sometimes the mood is really sad when you're behind. Yeah.
Shit. I mean, I'm just the biggest Libertan Go fan, man. It's just
Yeah,
a joy to
he
watch you
is
guys play, really.
Stable like a mountain, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Tom
that
Hughes
does
today.
lead us into the next question. I was going to ask you, but which players have surprised you the most, both up and down? Like, which players do you think have just been the absolute worst for their value? And which players do you think have been the best?
You're not allowed to, you shouldn't be allowed to pick a player on your own team, but you can if you want to just throw shade at your own team, okay?
I mean, my teammate on my actual team, Calvin Chen, just ripping out a 3 and 18 Necrophos mid performance, bottom net worth. I mean, that was kind of surprising to me, but I wasn't expecting that. I'll say that.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been week after week with him. Just something's not going right in that team. I don't know. So I'd say he's probably been the worst performer that I've seen.
And who's been the best, you reckon? Like, who's just been the most outrageously good player for what you didn't expect?
I mean, Corrosive, honestly. When I looked at that team at the start, I would have put them mid-table, but I feel like it's mainly due to his captaining more than the I mean, they're good players, but more than the player strength. I think the captaining
Oh, man.
is
Interesting.
just everything on Kuro, man. He's playing really good. He's captaining well, and he's
Fair
got
enough.
some cool ideas. So
I was
I
saying
mean, maybe
their
sh-
Kuro's team's draft is the only team that they don't necessarily draft directly to compete with lanes. They're drafting an actual strategy and then trying to play with it, which a lot of other teams aren't really
Yeah,
doing.
exactly.
They're just sort of taking whatever.
Yeah.
And what do you think, Fantasy? What players are you surprised by both ways?
I'm surprised that Sam's team actually lost to Kuros's team. That's the biggest upset I think of the tournament. I thought they would win pretty one-sided, but then at that day I realized the strength of Kuros's team. I've been shaking in fear ever since.
I mean,
Really? Okay.
Wow.
for me, I feel like Fury's got the most like outrageously
Yeah, like the
team
most
than everyone
stacked.
player-wise. Yeah. Like they somehow managed to get Fury himself, Godot, and Megazy in one team, which
It's
is
like
just
3 experienced
insane.
places versus
like
2
three
on
actual-
other teams. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
I'd say that's
a
fair.
legit team and like a normal non-draft tournament. Like those 3 players would probably be in the same team together.
Just shows
So
you how
it's
good
just like-
Kuros's team is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to point fingers, LY, but you did first pick a player that's on your bench, so
Yeah.
That is true.
I mean,
he's called it.
I had the choice to pick Darcy Godot or Hype Man, and I did choose Hype Man. So
yeah. So I mean,
rookie
obviously,
mistake. Rookie mistake.
you can put that on me, but I don't know. You know, sometimes you gotta just pick for the boys, and yeah, I'm hoping it'll work out eventually.
Hype Man. Like he might come out firing when you eventually start to play him, but so far I haven't seen anything to say he's been good or bad, to be honest.
I mean, he's coming off the bench now, you know, and I'm hoping to see some big performances from him.
Or he's
so-
back on the bench, right?
No, he's coming. He's coming off the bench. He's coming off the bench.
It's one of those like you better play good or else. Back to that, sub.
Yeah, it's pretty much whoever's fault I deem it for the game we lose, I just
That's
chuck
right.
them on the bench. Just
That's a
it's a
healthy
rotating.
way. It's
Yeah,
6
it's a
people
rotating-
fighting for 5 seats. I like that. That's a healthy. team.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
mean, so what happens if you throw, LY? Are you going to bench yourself or?
Oh, for sure. I'm close to it, man. I'm really close to it. I think one more TO, and I might have to let the boys just handle it themselves for a week. I don't know. Take a break because the mold's getting strong for sure.
And obviously, Gorg, we didn't ask you what players have you been on the sidelines watching?
I know. Can I put out my current MVP award? And I mentioned him before, and everyone's not paying attention to him. But we were just talking about the Fury, Godot, Miguel Z team. Granny Thighs is actually, he's doing exactly what he needs to. Like, I know this sounds sort of like it's not massive praise, but when someone on your team does exactly what's required of them and they're not the star, it's really
just
hard
do
to
the job.
notice that. But he's getting the job done in the games he needs to, and that's why they're having like a pretty good time.
Oh, for sure. He's like being super consistent. I think.
Consistent,
It's-
that's
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Like exactly. He does whatever he needs to every game, and it's good.
Yeah. I mean, you can't ask for much more of a compliment towards a new player, right? Like, if you draft someone, you can't know what to expect. And saying he's been playing his role perfectly, like, that could be a quarter season MVP vote coming very early from Gorg here.
I mean, you know what? When you play a position 2 in a team where you've got such strong players, it's really too hard for me to get noticed. And he's been playing in lineups where he's not being sacked, but he's definitely not in like a favored matchup, and he's still getting stuff done, which is the hardest thing to do in Dota right now.
Yep,
Definitely.
for sure. It's so valuable when you can do that. Just early pick a player or something, and then just like he'll still manage to 50-50 the lane, that kind of stuff.
It's
Just,
just
like,
it's
really
invaluable
valuable.
right now. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Loving
for
it.
sure.
Yeah. We do have more questions. Obviously, this one's going to be for both of you. How do you feel the league's running? I know it's been quite quick. It's been all a blur for a lot of players, from drafting to playing to obviously we're 2 weeks in. I'll start with Fantasy. How do you think the league's running so far? Is there anything we want to improve on? Just give us some pointers here and there.
It's going quite smoothly so far, but I think there's a lot of games, especially for a viewer to watch. There's like 2 games a day, and I reckon every day of the week, except Sundays. I reckon maybe you could spread it out a little bit more, have like a few off days. But besides that, in terms of playing schedules, it's all right. Like 2 games a week, that's acceptable.
Yeah, no worries. So just less games. Obviously, this is going to have to change once we're all, actually back to work, no longer locked down.
Hey
So
man,
I think
speak for yourself there, Doglet. Speak for yourself there, dude.
and obviously, LY, what do you think? What do you think needs to be improved on, or what's something we're doing?
Well, I think right now there's a lot of like kind of stompy games, I guess. Like there's some clearly like better teams than the rest. I'd say like two or three teams that are just a lot better. So I'd say like maybe some kind of rebalancing at some point. I guess that would be season 2, right? But I think
Yeah.
that would
Would
help a
you-
lot if we can get a kind of closer.
Would you like a
Uh,
Big Brother-esque invader moment where like one person invades another team and gets switched across?
Yeah, exactly. Some like superstar player switches kind of thing is what I'm looking for.
Like an
to kind of
experienced
balance out the
player
team.
shift. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's
Yeah.
what
I
I
mean-
want more.
So LY, you're basically calling for in-season trades. That's what you're.
Yeah,
I like that.
that's
I like
that's
that.
what I'm looking for, man. Because I don't know, I don't want to see these stomps like Calvin Chen's team just getting rinsed every game. You know, just stomped in 10 minutes. Our team the same. It's
Yeah.
just it's not what you want to see. Like I just want to see some more kind of closer matches. Obviously, there's still the close matches between the big teams like Kuro's team, Fury's team, etc.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Alright,
I mean, I
definitely
The
something
point
to
of
work-
this league was to kind of avoid that, right? Where you had the Atletico, Oracle, etc., winning every tournament, stomping every other team, and then this was kind of to switch that up a bit. But
Yeah.
Yeah, there have been a lot of good games though. Like we can't deny in the first 2 weeks.
Oh,
I
for
would say
sure.
at least half of the games have been like solid. Not 15-minute sort of stops. I'd say.
yeah, there's been some really great games that I've had a lot of fun watching. But yeah,
Yeah, definitely. And
I mean,
Gorg,
none of them
obviously-
have been mine. That's all I'm saying.
Gorg, obviously, I'll pose the same question to you. This is obviously your first cast with us. What do you think so far as an outside perspective coming in now?
Okay, so my first complaint is just not enough Gorg. Like really.
Not
like,
enough.
I think I should just be on. I should be doing like Purge at TI does like his post game breakdown with like the drawing chalkboard, and I sort of point to some stuff. I would love to have. No, I'm joking. No, honestly, the games are good. I agree with a little bit with what LY said. I would love to see maybe like some more crazy stuff happening. Maybe similar in the vein of like Midas Mode, where we have a few extra rules we can lay in the games to maybe make them a little less stompy. But that would be something that we'd have to think about. Aside from that, I'm happy. I really, as a person that's been around the Oz Dota for ages, like it's a dream come true. Really seeing this tournament be run like this, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. I'm hoping that it makes some amazing players. Really do.
Yeah, that's good to hear. It's good to hear that there's still constructive criticism for both sides. Like obviously we're still learning as a franchise, but I'm hoping Music is listening. Hope he's getting some points here and there, and just so we can implement something to make these players better. Before we leave, though, obviously we're going to have to discuss the games that are about to come. We talked about Flashpoint versus Sweaty Soldiers, but up next is about 15 minutes. We've got Burger Flippers and we've got Spag vs Suns. LY Fantasy. I'll start with LY. Who do you think is going to win, and why do you think they're going to win?
I mean, I think Burger Flippers are probably gonna just thrash them. To be honest, from what I've seen, Zemistry in mid, one of the best.
Yes.
I think Farnsworth has actually been playing really well in off lane. Like every game I see him, he's topping the net worth, just having massive impact. So I feel like Burger Flippers are one of those teams that like started off weak. Maybe like they had some synergy issues at the start, but I think they're just getting better and better every week. Sorry. And I think they're just going to start crushing it now. I think they're like one of the top 3, even top 2 teams. So
Oh, really? That's a big call for a team that I think they're 5-5 at the moment. They're obviously still finding.
I've just seen the momentum like pick up
Yeah.
and pick up. I think like when Zem and Dalsu get the synergy, all that stuff, I think they're going to become really strong. So yeah, I'd say 2-0 probably.
Definitely. And are you going to follow suit fantasy, or are you going to have something?
Excuse me. Burger Flippers are the only team that beat us so far, so I've got my money on them. And I've versed both teams, so I think Burger Flippers are going to take this 2-0.
2-0, you reckon as well? And do you think it's going to be the same thing, a big Farnsworth showing, or?
Oh, I think it'll be more love in Zemistry showing, to be honest.
Yeah, I got to be honest. Semistry was a very early pick. People were talking him up as potentially the best mid to come into this league. He's been playing pretty well, but do you guys expect a bit more from him? Do you expect him to start like absolutely carrying these games coming in? Or?
Yeah, I think at the start he was underperforming a bit, like maybe a bit too much WoW or whatever, like playing side games. I think he's back on the Dota 2, so we should see some better performances from him, I think.
That's definitely good to see. I think that's going to be just about all she wrote. Thanks so much for Fantasy and LY coming in. I'm going to
Awesome,
hopefully
thank
do
you.
this more. This was a lot of fun for us. It's great to have captains come in, give their 2 cents. And obviously, it's great to have one at the top, one struggling a bit, let's say LY.
Yeah.
But thanks so much for coming in. And I'm hoping you're going to watch the games for the rest of the night.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
will.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys.
No
for coming
worries.
too.
See ya.
Yeah. Before we get into the next games, however, we do have a quick little highlight reel from week 1 and I think a few games from the start of this week that we might throw in now. Just give you guys a little bit of a break from our voices before we jump into these.
You're going to be hearing a lot of it, guys, tonight. You know,
a lot.
All right, I'll go ahead and chuck this one on for you now. Okay, guys.
Your way there as well.
Roger gonna jump forward by himself with the Inkswell, and now the rest of the team gonna jump in. In fact, they have gone straight after the Rubik first, but the Ghost Scepter is there, so at least Kesley does walk away, but they have lost Mishap. Who else? Lon, he's been controlled up by Vade though. Stampede will be popped. Can he actually get out of this? Flicko still chasing, doesn't have another Blink Strike yet. Meanwhile, the Quap and the Bounty have jumped in. Kazi popping his BKB. Blink Strike gonna be there from the Ricky, and now Riz gonna start moving in as the Inkswell gonna be there again, but they got the Scythe Device off. Still, another Scythe Device is there on the Quap, but they found Splicko. The Divine's on the deck. Who's got it this time? It's good old Mishap on the Undying. He doesn't need it, John, but he's definitely holding it. Mishap, run, sir, run. They continue moving. Kazi. Shadow Strike there on HG, and well, the Scythe Device gonna be there on Reverie. He's gonna die back here. Can he heal himself up? Not quite. And now the Stolen Egg coming out of the Rubik. A green egg, in fact. Is this Minecraft or something? It will eventually pop off as well.
He is. Well, Granny Thighs blink randomly to the high ground. Doesn't want to get caught out. He really wants to make sure that he hits onto the Drow Ranger. They want to try and get the Drow kill. They do get the Ward kill as well. The Ravage hits onto 4 heroes. They found the Silencer on the sideline here, but Riz sitting in the backside can throw out these arrows as quickly as he possibly can. They do have the Troll Wallet hitting onto the Pugna. And in comes the duel though. This is not the duel that you want, Lon. You are dead for a long time. And does have the buyback, so he's coming back in here. Riz with the Global Silence gets himself back into the lots of tier 4 towers. Lon doesn't have the dual damage again, so they want to take out Jellyfish, and they do get him done. They do have the Soul Blight out, but it's only onto Lon, so they don't have anybody else to get leeched to him. Granny Thighs gets taken down. No, the Decrep keeps him alive for a little bit longer. Eventually the Dragon Slaver is the one that picks him up. Explosive Fury is going to have to send him back, and it looked like such a good initiation coming out from Sincerely Fury, but Sweaty Soldiers, they turn it back around. The fact that Riz is not getting caught by these Ravages, a lack of preparation. Do you think it's what do you think the issue is here for Sincerely Fury? Because both these games felt fairly unplayable for them. Well, it looks like Granny Thighs wants to play a little bit more here. They've caught out Garchi, but on the sideline, Jellyfish, he's the one that's getting caught out. He has to use a BKB. Jumps in towards the backside. The Chronosphere comes down. They're going to be able to catch out Corrosive here. So the Captain's getting gone down. No, he isn't even going to go down just yet. Yeah, eventually they do get the kill. The Crimson guy comes down as well as the Pipe. They're going to get rid of the Faceless Void. And I think they've committed a little bit too much just for a puck kill. Garchi, he wants to take out this Crystal Maiden who's ulting on top of everybody. Miggles doing a lot of work here with this Left Track, but the BKBs come out aplenty here for the side of Flashpoint Gaming. Buybacks are being spammed here from Sincerely Fury. Miggles is the one that goes down. Can they return? Can they get any more kills? Can they send them outside of their base? No. They've lost all 5 of their heroes, and 4 of them have brought back, and Days still hasn't lost his Aegis just yet. He's sitting on the front lines. They're going to be able to take out Garchi. No, yes! Eventually they get rid of the Monkey King here. Fury's setting there, throwing the auto attacks out, trying to take the Tombstone, and G...
100 gold away from that rapier.
Got it. He's already there. Now TP back. It's go time.
Give him the
It is
bloodlust.
go time. Hide him in the trees. Don't let him reveal. The jump comes forward. It's Jandals, and now Calvin looks to hit so hard. Jandals has to blink himself away. They see it now, but the swap. Kofa, he's in way too deep. Underneath the tower, the Aegis Immortal is going to break. Is there a chain here? And there is, at least with the leash. Now Chain Frost. It's the double, as well as the silence. They need the extra bounce damage to go to work. Ravage, he's just letting it go because that's all he's got left to do, apart from dying. But Calvin, with this rapier, has taken them totally by surprise. The cheese consumption from Nova, he's able to survive. They should be very happy. Yes, I guess they got out with as little casualties as they had. That was the perfect rapier reveal.